Hey YouTube, Hickory Stick back with you again, and welcome to another edition of It's Raining in South Mississippi. As I stand here videoing this at this point in time, I haven't even got to do the shooting from our last 30-06 video where we loaded up our Match Kings for our first group of Match Kings. Between rain and between my work schedule, I haven't got to do anything with them. And of course, today being Saturday, I'm off work today, but it's raining. Good news is, though, it's supposed to be just a frontal boundary coming through, and it looks to me like it's starting to break up off to the west. It was supposed to be out of here about 2 o'clock today. It's about noon right now. So I'm hoping that maybe this afternoon I might get to go do a little shooting, although it is supposed to get cold after this front comes through. So I don't know. But maybe I'll go get to do the shooting this afternoon. If not, I'll try to do it tomorrow afternoon, or maybe even Monday. I'm off of work Monday. But I wanted to make a quick, short video about prepping new brass, because last night when I got off of work, I went down to my local store. I live nearby a Sportsman's Warehouse. If you don't live by a Sportsman's Warehouse, I'm sorry. Sportsman's Warehouse is one of the best places that I have found for reloading supplies. They keep a whole lot of stuff in stock on the shelves. So I went down to Sportsman's Warehouse last night and I got some brass. Got some 30-06 brass. I started to buy some 4570 brass too, but I had already racked up a pretty good bill worth of stuff because I got some powders and some bullets. But so I definitely needed some 30-06 brass because I don't have a lot of it on hand. So I bought some brand new Winchester 30-06 brass. A pack of 50. Paid $28 for them. I'm sure that's probably high compared to what I could get them for online in bulk. But you know what? I don't need 250 cases of 30-06 brass right now. You know, these 50 cases will last me a while. So I went and got 50 new cases. Now the thing about them is they are unprepped. So a good example is, let me find a good one here. Yeah, this one right here. Look at that case mouth. All crooked, bent up. It's got issues. There's burrs in the primer pockets. Things of that nature. I don't know if these have been annealed. I need to look and see if they've been annealed. On the inside of the neck, I can see some discoloration on the inside of the neck that is not present in the rest of the body of the case, or which alludes to the fact that they may have been annealed. I don't know. But last night I prepped 25 of them. Well, actually 27. But I prepped about half the cases last night, and everything seems fine. The case mouth doesn't seem extra hard. It seems plenty malleable. So I'm thinking they may have been annealed. I just have to do some research to find out for sure. But the thing about it is, when you get new cases, you're going to have, unless you buy already pre-prepped cases, which you pay more for those, you're going to have to prep them. You're going to need to measure them. You're going to need to size them. You're going to need to deburr, flash holes, things of that nature to them. So I started working on them. Well, the first couple of cases, I ran through my full-length size and die just to see, do they need to be full-length size? The die barely touched them. So I'm not thinking they need to be full-length size. I tried several of them in my gun. They all chambered just fine in my gun. I don't think they're oversized. I think they're sized well. They don't need to be full-length size. I think we just need to straighten out the case mounts. So that's what I've been doing. I've got my neck sizing die set up in my press, and I've been neck sizing them. So, as you have seen before, the process of the neck sizing is pretty simple. casing shell holder, press it up in, a little bit of pressure, die says 25 pounds, and done. And it's working out good. Look at there. They're straightening out nice and pretty. So I'm thinking, yeah, they've probably been annealed. Not sure. So the next thing that you want to do after you neck size them is, and you can do this before, you can do it before or after. You need to measure your case length, because we need to see if they are too long. Now, I measured a couple of these, and the ones that I measured were well below trim length. Like 3 to 4 thousandths below trim length. So they measured well. They don't appear to need trimming. But we'll check them all anyway, because that's the proper thing to do, is to check all of them. So, I'm going to finish sizing these real quick, and we'll take some measurements. Now, our max case length for our 30-06 is 2.494 per the Hornady manual. Case trim length, 2.484. So let's see what these look like. This one's 2.484. Two 2.484. 2.478. 2.481. 2.484. 2.479, 2.481, 2.484. So, yeah, I went and got myself a chair, and I sat down and I measured every one of these cases, and all of them are around trim length. The longest one I saw was 2.486, and I saw several of them 2.479. So they're between 2.479 and 2.486. Most of them are around the 2.483 mark. So, no reason to trim any of these cases. They are all good. So, the next step in this process, the one of two things you can do next. We need to chamfer the case mounts, and we need to deburr the flash holes. Which one you do next doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and deburr the flash holes. Now, for that, I picked up the other day, actually a couple weeks ago, I picked up a Lyman flash hole deburrer. So, all you do, you run it in. Now, this thing has a little set screw thingy that you can put an Allen wrench in and set it for the depth that you want. If I can find that spot. Set it for the depth of your cartridge to where you don't dig too deep. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it by feel. Just spin it around, see if there's anything. There was nothing in that one. So you just want to check your flash holes just to see if you've got any burrs in your flash holes. That had a little bit of one. Just clean the burr off. That's all you want to do. The burr, if you got a burr in your flash hole, it can cause an inconsistent ignition. Oh, I say that had a pretty good burr in it. Can cause inconsistent ignition because it's inconsistency in transferring the primer into the charge, the powder charge. So you just deburr them is all you've got to do. Ooh, that had a nasty burr. So, some of these have had nasty burrs. Some of them have had nothing. They've been a little bit inconsistent throughout the thing. But, you know what? That's why we got this little tool. Now, I did, contrary to what I said at the beginning, I decided, about halfway through, I decided, let me adjust this little spindle here and see, or this little bushing, and see what happens. So I adjusted it on down, put it in place, and depth-wise, it doesn't really do anything for your depth because, this tool's only going to cut so far. But it did actually help line up the case and keep the case nice and straight, and so which made my cuts nice and straight as I was cutting into it, into the flash holes. But so I guess it serves its purpose. Alright. So, that's all of them. Flash hole deburred on all of them. The next thing you need to do is you need to chamfer your case mouths. So, it's not that big of a deal. You could load a bullet without chamfering the case mouth. It just might be a little tougher, and it probably may scrape your jacket on your bullet. So you just want to put a small chamfer on it. I usually start with the inside, turn it forward a few times, and turn it backwards. Make a nice little chamfer. Go to the outside, forward a couple times, then backwards. That's all there is to it. Put you a nice little shiny chamfer on it, just so that your bullet slides in a little bit easier. Turn that one over so I know it's done. So one thing I can say about this Winchester brass here is these case mouths, boy, these case mouths were gnarly. They definitely needed a chamfer on them. That's the only thing I can say against it, is that it just needed, is that the case mouths need a chamfer. I've been going 4 spins. 4 spins clockwise, a couple spins counterclockwise. Just be consistent. That's all it's taking. It's putting a nice little chamfer on them. It's going to be pretty. So, chamfer these up. And they'll be ready for primers. Alright, so we've got them all chamfered now. Flash holes are clean. They're all neck sized. The necks are straightened out nice and pretty. Everything is ready to go. 50 round brand new Winchester 30-06 brass. And I'll be perfectly honest, this is actually the first brand new brass I have ever had. So I'm pretty excited about getting this. So the next video, they're ready for primers now. So the next video we're going to do is we're going to load up some more of these boys and give them a try. Till next time, we'll see y'all.